Well, hello, Erin's team. Oh my gosh. It's so nice to be here. I feel so honored that Erin came, asked me to come in here, and I was supposed to hop on this morning, and I completely forgot. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I need alarms. I can't even put something in my calendar. It's not enough. I need to actually legit set an alarm. Didn't do it, so I forgot. And then I told her I would hop in tonight at 8:30 or 9, and here it is 9:15. So that's pretty much how I roll. Apologies. Sorry if it's really late for you. But I'm really, really excited and honored, honestly, that to be here with you guys. Erin and I have been friends since our previous business days. We follow each other. Hey, girl, hey. We follow each other on social media and just have that, uplifting each other, even though we're not in the same business anymore. Like, that's what this is about, right? Like, being able to celebrate each other's successes and celebrate each other's pushing each other into those uncomfortable spaces, right? I am sure Erin dealt with this, like I dealt with it when I left my previous business and headed over to the business I'm in now. You worry a lot. You worry, what are people going to think? Are they thinking that I'm just like hopping around, that I wasn't successful then, that I couldn't cut it? I mean, we imagine all of these things that are in other people's heads. And like our imaginations are amazing, right? But our imaginations are almost always way clearer when it's the bad, right? When it's like the negative stuff, like, oh my God, they're like talking about me in a corner and yada, yada, yada. But like, why can't we imagine all the fabulous things that are going to come from us kicking ass in this business, right? It's a weird thing in our brain. And I wanted to kind of just pop in and forgive me. I mean, I know you guys don't know me. I do swear a lot. I will try to keep it at a minimum. I will try. But I also I never come in on anything with like notes really. I have a couple quotes that I'm going to like tell you guys because I like live and die by quotes. I love them, but I might be a little bit scattered. But at the end of the day, like I just want to chat with you about just how to kind of get out of your head, get out of your way, and do the things that are going to grow your business, okay? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of people in network marketing that fail, okay? And they fail because they quit. And why do they quit? Because they cannot get out of their own way, okay? Not everybody is going to be successful here, okay? Maybe a lot of people won't be successful even though they want it so bad, right? But when you can't practice the hard things, practice pushing fear aside, because the thing is like none of us do any of this without fear. We all have fear. I don't really believe that there's anything that is worth doing that comes from being fearless, okay? When you feel the fear, in my opinion, that is your signal to go do it, okay? Except maybe jump out of an airplane. I think you could good without doing that. But when you feel the fear, that is your signal. You need to go do that. You need to go. So if it's like a chicken lister, right? Somebody that you just really want on your team, you know they would kill it, but you're just like afraid to reach out to them, right? What are they going to think? Do they think that I'm only, messaging them because I want them on my team? Like all of these things go in our heads, right? That's your signal. Hey girl, you need to go talk to her, okay? And I personally believe the more direct you can be with people, the more upfront, the more like ballsy, the more receptive they are going to be, okay? Because when you message somebody, hey, I thought of you. I don't know if you'd ever want a sample of my nails, but like they're really cute, and if I can drop it in the mail to you if you'd like to try it, okay? They're gonna forget they read that in 2 seconds because everybody is busy. Everybody is doing like 8 million things. They are gonna forget. It's a forgettable message. So if you're gonna reach out to somebody that scares you, freaking be a badass at it. Like, be ballsy. Be like, girl, I have been thinking about you. I know that you would slay this, and I can't let another day go by without telling you. Now, is she going to forget that? No. No, and guarantee you what, she's not going to judge you for that. She's actually probably going to admire you for saying that out loud, right? So really, everybody has fears. I get asked a lot because on the outside or on social media, feel free, you guys, to friend me. I always love new friends. But on the outside, on social media, it can appear that I do all the things that scare me and I don't have any fear, and that's total bullshit. That's not true at all. I fear things all the time. But the difference is that I have practiced pushing past it. I have practiced seeing fear. I know I saw somebody above us, Jamie, seeing fear as a signal and doing it. Okay. So when you think of fear, okay, when you think of, and I wanted to do this. I know there's not that many people on here live. So when you watch the replay, okay, or when the people that are on live, when you hang up or whatever, get off of this, I want you to take 5 minutes. I want you to get a piece of paper out, blank piece of paper. I want you to put a line right down the middle, okay? And 5 minutes, like set a timer, and I just want you to free flow from your brain everything that you are afraid of in this business, okay? Not death, cancer, whatever. Like in this business, what are the things that scare you? Okay. And I want you to do it without overthinking it. I don't want you to be like, why did that thought come in? I want you to write like literally just stream of consciousness from your brain to the piece of paper. And if something keeps coming back up, like you've already wrote it down once, write it down again. Just write it down, 5 full minutes. Okay. And I don't want you to judge it. I don't want you to do anything, but just write it on a piece of paper on the left side. Okay. It's really, really important to understand what is in between your 2 ears, okay? Sometimes we're not even aware. We're not even aware that we're afraid of success. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So many people are afraid of success. Being afraid of judgment, being afraid that you're going to fail in front of the people that you don't even really care about. So many things. So write it down, okay? And then maybe, I probably won't be in this page after, but like share it with Erin or just comment on the post below, take a picture, okay? It's really, really, and if you're on live, like feel free to share some things that just are popping into your head right now. But it is a really, really good practice to do so that you can understand what is here. Because honestly, when you were a kid, I have an 8-year-old, I'm sure a lot of you have kids, you're not afraid of much. You know, they're not really afraid of too much, and they don't overthink things. They just do what they want to do, right? Somewhere along the line, we forget that. We worry. We think about we think about trying to fit in. We think about all of these things that can affect who we become. And so we've spent 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, however old you are, with this negative record playing in our head, right? That shit is powerful. So you have to be really aware of what's in there so that you can tell it to go the hell away. All right. And if you don't do this yet, I highly recommend at least 20 to 30 minutes a day where you're putting positive messages in your head, whether it's a podcast, whether it's reading a book. The one I'm going to plug with you guys is my second favorite book ever. A lot of you may have read it. It's always worth a second read. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's amazing. And it's nothing groundbreaking. Some of it actually is, in my opinion, but it's really good. Just the way he says things and the way you just start to realize, like, yeah, why do I care? Why do I care about Susie down the street, what she's going to think about me? Why do I care about my Aunt Becky, who like is just judgmental of everybody? Why do I care about my best friend from high school? Why do I like, it's not about not giving any fucks. It's about being very careful about the F's that you do give. Okay. It's being selective with your F's. All right. So it's a really, really good book. So at any rate, make sure you are putting 20 to 30 minutes of positive stuff in your brain. Okay. And it really is important. We have an amazing ability to have, we basically in our brain, we've got the inner critic and the inner advocate. All right. And both live in your brain. So you choose whose volume you turn up on. Okay? You can choose to turn the volume up on that inner critic. And what's it going to do? It's going to stop you from doing things. It's going to make you overthink. It's going to stop you from your business, from growing your business. Nothing good, and I mean nothing, in my opinion, good comes from overthinking. Outside of this business too. I'm sure you guys have heard of Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule, also a really awesome book. And she has a great, follow her on Instagram. But really, nothing good comes from overthinking. If we stopped that, you guys, more people in this world would be badasses. Would be just following their hearts and doing what they need to do to live their most authentic life. But we all overthink. So you've got that inner critic and you've got that inner advocate. Now, give me a minute because I want to sidetrack for a second. If you guys have done the numbers, the Enneagram, I'm not sure. Have any of you guys done the Enneagram quizzes? So I've taken that quiz 10 times, continually hoping that I would get a different answer, because the answer it gives me is always one that I do not believe. I don't identify with that. I don't understand where it's coming from, but I used to be that when I was growing up. So I don't know all the numbers, but it keeps telling me that I'm a 9, and 9 is very much like the peacemaker, the one that kind of just goes with the flow, yada, yada, yada. And I feel like I'm an 8 or a 3. A 3 is, I think, achiever, and 8 is a rule breaker. I identify with those. I don't identify with a 9. But guess what? When I was growing up, I was an only child. I had no siblings, so I desperately wanted friends. So I did what I could to fit in. I was a wallflower. I never made waves. I just wanted people to like me. Probably some of you guys can relate to that. And I mean, it's normal. It's human nature to want people to like you. There's nothing wrong with that. But I definitely held myself back growing up because I was so afraid to be different. My favorite quote of all time, and I have it hanging up above my computer at my desk, is this: "You are born an original, don't die a clone." Okay? We were all put on this earth to be our own individual people. So stop trying to freaking fit in with anybody else. You are, Erin, I know I'm not a 9. You are your own person. So don't be like Susie next door. Don't be like, your best friend from high school. Don't be a person that you keep seeing constantly on social media with the negative BS, okay? You are you. And you should be unabashedly you at all times, okay? So I was trying to figure out why or how maybe I got from where I was then to where I am now. And I realized it's not one thing in my life. But what I did do was I did a lot of things that scared me. Okay, so and I won't go with my life story. You don't really care, but in college, I went abroad for a year. Scared the crap out of me. I did it, and it was the best year of my life. Then after college, I moved to New York City. No job. I was crazy, but I made it. I didn't die. I survived. I probably didn't thrive. It's hard to thrive in New York City, but I survived. I did it. I taught Pure Barre. I thought I am a terrible public speaker. When I went to audition for it, and we had 4 days of hardcore auditioning, I was calling my husband every night, crying on the phone. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't get on the mic. So freaking scared. I made it through, and I was a badass Pure Barre teacher. Okay. So all of these little things. And then I started my business that I judged so hard. I am sure that a lot of you here at one point or another judged this space, right? I mean, most of us did. And I think that's why when we start this kind of business, after maybe coming from judgy Judy, that we're even more afraid because we know exactly what people are thinking because we thought it, right? But anyway, those little things in my life and my, past give me evidence that I can do the hard things. And those things remind me of how strong I am. So I challenge you to think back on your life, to think back on the times in your life that you have done something hard, that you have done something scary, and that you didn't die. Okay. And maybe you failed. Hey, that's okay, right? Failing forward, right? We've all heard that. So look for that evidence in your past, because you will be, I mean, shit, even look at college and how you passed all those tests. Like, I could never do that now. Like, we made it through college, we made it through middle school. Like, we made it through all of that, and we are here. And why we can't send a message to freaking Susie? Come on, right? Like, let's be real. So anyway, I got off track, but my point is you've got that inner critic and that inner advocate. And if you practice enough turning the inner advocate up, that inner critic is automatically going to have to go down. And the more times that you can switch that balance in your head, the stronger that inner advocate is going to be, and the weaker this critic is going to be. And that critic will one day be so weak that you hardly don't even remember being that person. And that's where I am. Because I'm not a 9. There's no way that I'm a 9, right? And then I was like, well, where did that come from? And I had to really think about it. So you really want to look back at your life. Remember the times that you have done things that have scared you, that you surprised yourself, and write them down. Put it all over your desk so you can remember how much of a badass you are. I mean, if you're a parent, that's hard enough right there. You did it. You made it through maybe the pregnancy, the first month, wherever you are. So really practice doing that. And I want to read you a quote. It's actually, I don't really have to read it. It's pretty quick, but from the book, not from the book, excuse me, from this guy called Richard Carlson. And it's just really so smart. He said, ask yourself this question: will this matter a year from now? Will that message that you send Judy matter a year from now? No, of course not. It won't matter. So ask yourself that. Anytime that you see that you're afraid of something, or you're holding back, or you're overthinking, is it going to really matter a year from now? No, it won't. It won't. So that's a great thing to tell yourself before you go do the hard things. The more you practice doing the hard things, the easier it's going to be. The more you can desensitize yourself to doing the things that you're afraid of, the easier it's going to become. I want you to send so many damn messages to people, intentional messages, but so many messages to people that you don't even remember who you sent them to. So therefore, you're not paying attention to who's read them. Please don't go back to messages to see if somebody's read it. That is a waste of your time, and you are going to F with your head. It's not smart. Don't do it. I want you to send so many that you don't even remember them. Okay? So now you have that half piece of paper with that line down, and you've got your fears on your left side. So what do you put on the right? You can probably guess. Well, on the right, you put what matters to you. Because at the end of the day, you're always going to have fears. The only way you overcome those fears is by making what matters to you more important than the fear. Okay? If what matters to you is at the top of that mountain, that has to be bigger for you than all the fears that you're going to meet along the way. Okay? So when we hang up, or when you're watching this on replay, take 5 minutes, set a timer, same thing. Write down all the things that matter to you, why you're doing this. If it's money, awesome, but what do you want to do with that money? What change do you want to make? What impact do you want to make on the world? What is your purpose? That's a really hard question to answer. I have no idea what my purpose is in life yet, but every little step that I take towards doing something new, being a beginner at something, is I'm going to be closer to figuring out what that purpose is. Okay? So take that 5 minutes, same thing, stream of consciousness, write down whatever you think, even if it's where did that come from? And just do it, okay? So when you're thinking about those fears, remember, and have this piece of paper on your desk always, okay? And look at that right side, and just remember what matters. And the shit on the left is not going to matter in a year from now. And if you have kids, like, think about them. When you're worried about messaging Susie, what would you tell your son or your daughter? You know, you would tell them, go do it, honey. You're not going to die. You're going to be okay. Do it. What's the worst that can happen? And I actually hate that effing message so much. What's the worst that can happen? I don't know about you, but it drives me crazy. Because why is it so easy, like I said in the beginning, to come up with all of these imagination things in our head about all the bad things? Oh, well, I could get on a Zoom that I'm hosting and then accidentally dislodge a popcorn kernel from my teeth and then start choking on it. That happened to me 2 days ago. I was hosting a Zoom. Literally in the middle of my talk, I somehow had dislodged a popcorn kernel from my tooth, started choking on it. Did I die? I mean, thankfully I didn't. But it's so easy for us to come up with the bad crap. Let's imagine the good stuff. So when you're talking to a prospect and they're overthinking everything, tell them, girl, I want you to take a minute and tell me what is the best thing that could happen from doing this. Just tell me out loud without overthinking it too much. What's the best thing that could happen? They're going to tell you some awesome stuff. And then you're going to be like, okay, so let's go work towards that. Right? I mean, gosh, it's so ridiculous how we are able to get so consumed by that critic, so consumed by that fear. Fear is an effing liar, okay? It's a liar, and you need to call it the bad names, whatever you want to do, and just be like, I'm trying to be slightly good. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with a couple quotes from this book. And again, if you have not read it, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. It's really good, by Mark Manson. It's if you're an Audible person, he narrates the book on Audible, which is always better. So he does that. It's great. Obviously, you can pick it up probably from your library even. It's good. He has other books too in the line of them, but that's the only one I've read by him. But it's really good. So there's 2 ones that I wanted to read to you. Oh, well, this is also one that I love. You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. I guarantee you, the minute you send a message to Susie, she has forgotten about it 30 seconds later. So why are you going back to that message 2 hours later to check if she's read it and then start worrying about what she's thinking? She is not thinking about you. She has moved on. She is in the grocery store with her 2 kids, fighting with them to stay in the damn cart, and they're trying to get out and buy the cookies. I don't know. They're not thinking about you. Only you are. So stop, right? Just stop. Okay. And then the other one is from Steve Jobs. Sorry, clearly you can tell I am like a big quote person. And then one is from the author. And they're both so good. And I can't ever like say things articulately, clearly, without swearing. But okay, so this is from the author. This is one of my favorite passages in the book. So in life, and I'm going to swear, so let your kids turn down the volume. In life, our fucks must be spent on something. There really is no such thing as not giving a fuck. The question is simply how we each choose to allot our fucks. You only get a limited number of fucks to give over your lifetime. So you must spend them with care. As my father used to say, fucks don't grow on trees, Mark. Okay, he never actually said that, but fuck it, pretend like he did. The point is that fucks have to be earned and then invested wisely. I love that. I just love it because it just reminds you, of course, you want to give Fs about the things that matter, but that stuff on the left side of your paper, none of that stuff matters. You are giving Fs about the stuff on the right. Okay? You're giving Fs about the stuff on the right, and the stuff on the left, they do not matter. Okay? Okay, so the last one, and then I'll leave. I mean, unless you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer, but you don't know me, so you're probably like, yeah, you can leave. Okay, Steve Jobs. Love it. Yeah, Erin, I've reread it like 2 times now. It's so good. It's so good. I love that book. Okay, so remember, you'll be dead soon. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Like, mic drop. So good. And how did Steve Jobs live his life? Just like that. Guarantee he would never have done what he did with Apple had he worried about all the things that could go wrong. If he had overthought every little thing, if he had let other people's opinions get into his brain and into his heart, he would not have done that. None of these really big, impactful leaders, whether it's in church, in business, and all the things, they would not be who they are if they listened to the inner critic. So I hope that this helps you. Please write down on that piece of paper, you're on the left and the right, and put it somewhere that you see all the time. And remember what you're giving the fucks to and what you're not. Thank you, Erin, for letting me come in here. And if you want to message me, feel free. I'm happy to get to know you and let me know if this resonated or didn't. I mean, I'm totally cool with that too. But Erin is awesome. And she, by the way, Erin, please teach me how to do all the reels. I message her. I'm like, how did you do that audio thing? She's like, oh, you just click. I mean, she's awesome. You guys, you are so blessed to have such an awesome leader. Listen to what she says. Listen to the ways to do this and not overcomplicate it. At the end of the day, just be you. That is your superpower. Be you. Everybody else is taken. You do this business putting your heart out there. Don't ever stop yourself from being you, because that is what people are going to come to you for. Okay? I hope you guys have a great Friday night. Sorry for being so late. And thank you, Erin. Bye.